Hey guys, this is Jared, aka Rika Kazak, bringing you other Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. Real quick, the gameplay's nothing super crazy. I think I do okay. I'm certainly playing the objective most of the game. I do make a couple stupid moves, like right in the beginning, but with that aside, the main reason I wanted to bring you guys this video is talk about how to pick up girls. And I thought I'd be maybe a good candidate to bring a lot of you 14, 16, 18-year-old guys advice on this type of topic because one, I am married, so I'm obviously successful at it. You know, two, I've had a lot of relationships dating. I'm a little bit older, I'm 27. And the third reason is all of my friends kind of knew me as the person who could talk to people. I was never super cool. I'm not like a super good looking guy. Nobody would ever rate me a 9 on a 1 to 10 scale. But at the same time, I didn't have trouble talking to girls. One of my friends, Reef, he was the best man at my wedding. He was my college buddy. Me and him, man, we had so many good times partying. We went to tons of house parties our freshman, sophomore year of college. But I was always the guy that would go meet new people, talk to girls, introduce. You know, he'd play wingman and I'd play the initiator, I guess, to initiate conversations. But it was kind of a science to how I did it, and so I think if I share with you guys these tips on how I did it, you'll be able to do it too, no problem. The first thing, let's pretend we're in college and we're at a house party, and we don't know a girl. We think she's cute. We want to talk with her. Maybe she's got a couple friends around. The first tip I'd say is ask her lots of questions that are non-confrontational. So you don't want to ask her, oh, what religion are you? You don't want to ask her, what political party, or what do you think of Obama, or anything that might be divisive. That's the word I'm looking for, divisive. You want to ask her very easy questions like, oh, what do you do for a living? Or, oh, what's your major? In college, that was the question, my go-to question. Always do that. Oh, hi, what's your name? Oh, Ashley, nice to meet you. What's your major? Oh, that's such a cool major. No matter what her major was, I've said, oh, that's such a cool major to probably every single major you can have. So you always want to be, the thing is it's not just about girls. I'm not trying to hate on girls or females, but girls, guys, humans, just people like to talk about themselves. So I would always ask the girl non-divisive or whatever questions, and lots of questions about herself. What's your major? Oh, how many brothers and sisters do you have? People just like to talk about themselves. The subject of themselves is fun. The next thing is you always want to throw in compliments that don't sound creepy. So a creepy compliment to somebody would be like, oh, Ashley, that's such a pretty name. That's so beautiful. Okay, that's awkward. No, you want to say something like, she'll say, oh, I'm a nursing major. You'll go, oh, that's so cool. What made you want to be a nurse? And she'll say something like, oh, I really like helping people. And you're like, oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice that you like helping people. So that's kind of how you start out a conversation with a girl. The next thing is you want to avoid awkward pauses. You want to make her feel as comfortable as she can. So a lot of times people won't have something to think about or to talk about because, well, heck, 2 minutes ago you didn't even know this person. So you really need to be confident enough to just keep initiating the questions and keep them going about himself, and find a subject that they, I guess, quote unquote, go on about. So for instance, if somebody asked me, oh, Jared, tell me a little about poker, I could tell you tons about poker. I could talk and talk and talk for hours and hours and hours, days and days and days, because I really like the subject. Whereas if you asked me a question about, like, hey, Jared, what do you think about, I don't know, I was trying to think of a topic I don't really care about, and it's tough to think of a topic you don't care about, because if you don't care about it, it's tough to come up with. Maybe like tampons. I don't care about tampons. Never used one, never will use one. I don't know. I've bought them before because, I'm married and every married guy has, but, if you talk to me about different brands of tampons, like, oh, I'm a tampon salesman, well, I don't really care. That's kind of a weird job anyway. But you kind of get my point. You want to ask her questions that she goes on about that she's interested in. So what I judge is if I ask her a question and she quickly answers it and it's a very short answer, like, oh, you your major is XYZ. She goes, my major's nursing. And then I'd ask her, oh, what made you want to become a nurse? She goes, I don't know, pays well. Well, that wouldn't be, I would try to change the subject on, oh, well, were you born and raised in this? Like, I went to school in Spokane, Washington, at Gonzaga. I'd say, oh, are you originally from Spokane? See, I'd try to change the, again, I'm asking her a question about herself, and I'm trying to find something she cares about. She might say, oh, yeah, I was born and raised in Spokane. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I lived about 2 hours away from here. What made you want to go to school here? Did you really like the town? She'll go, oh yeah, I really like it. I always run Bloomsday, which is like a 7.5 mile fun run type thing. And she'll say something like, oh, and me and my girlfriends, we always get together and have a Hoop Fest team. Which Hoop Fest, if you don't know, it's like a 3-on-3 basketball tournament team. It's actually the largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the world. So that's kind of cool. Spokane's pretty small. It's got like 200,000 people. But it's got a couple things it's known for. The fun run. The Bloomsday, I also think, is the largest fun run, people-wise, in the world. There's like over 50,000. It gets crazy when you're downtown Spokane. Those things are going on. But anyway, I digress. So if she goes on and is answering it very in-depthly, then I'll continue asking her follow-up questions about that subject. Now, the next thing is, after we conclude the conversation or the interaction, you don't want to do anything that I would say would be socially awkward. A good example of that would be like, oh, so you talked for 5 minutes, you go, oh, so you want to go to a movie sometime? I wouldn't recommend that. The biggest reason is I don't think she's comfortable. She doesn't know you. You haven't been what I would consider vetted by her friends. And getting vetted is like, you know, you go in for a job interview, they might vet you to make sure you're qualified. So that's kind of what girls do. They're kind of... wow, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but girls are kind of like pack animals. They need their friends to kind of vet you, feel you out, make sure you're not a creepy, weird dude, make sure you're okay, good enough for her, not going to, you know, murder her and bury her or something crazy. You know what I mean? It's kind of, they need to vet you and feel you out. So usually what I do is, like at a house party, you know, we interact for 5 minutes, then I would leave her alone. I'd be like, oh, all right, well, have a good time. And then I'll go hang out with my friends. Now, it's important to go hang out with your friends then at that point, maybe so she gets the opportunity to see you with your friends. So then you look, the Pickup Artist, if you guys have ever seen it, he says it like builds your social standing. I don't really like that because, well, I don't know, it makes you kind of sound like a pompous jackass, but it makes you seem more normal, more likable, more fun. And so if you hang out with friends, it's kind of like she sees you're okay, likable, that sort of thing. And then what I might do is maybe try to have some interaction with a couple of my friends, especially if I've got maybe a female friend that I went to the house party with, you know, it's purely platonic, just friends, none of that funny business going on. You know, take her, and maybe when the other girl, Ashley, the nurse that we're trying to pick up, maybe when she's interacting with her couple friends, we might walk by her and have a drink and say, hey, how's it going? And maybe when I say, hey, how's it going, when I'm walking by, if she really responds well, maybe opens up her body language, like turning to talk to me, as opposed to just looking over her shoulder. If she says like, oh, hi, and then goes away, then I'll just keep walking, go get the drink with my friend, and then go back to my other friends. But if she opens her body up and says, you know, turns her body, if she was talking like in a group circle, and completely opens up to me, then I'll continue talking to her, and then it might be a time where, you know, her and her couple friends talk to me and my friend, and if it goes well, then, you know, might see if they want to hang out later or something. But anyway, we're out of time. This is Jared, aka Rick Kazak. Have a good one.